All right, after last week's big life change and last year's crazy time we had at Staniel, I think it's safe to say that big things happened to us when we were at Staniel Cay, and we've had enough big changes for the moment. So it's time to go.
One new development is that we actually added an offset to our depth sounder, so it's now showing depth under the keel where it was just showing pure depth under the transducer, which is nice. 2 feet under the keel right now. Boats, man, I tell ya. So the port engine is acting up a little bit. I'm really hoping, we just did some engine maintenance and hoping we just forgot to turn the fuel cock back on. So hoping that's really all it was. It was working just fine the other day, but we got 2 engines. It's the joy of having a catamaran, so just chugging along with the starboard one right now. Hey Jess, are you sure you opened up the fuel cock?
I don't know why.
We're getting no, the port engine is dead.
I thought I did, but obviously now I'm hoping I didn't. Hold on. Oh. Not a good sign. The cover isn't over the hatch or the hole. And I would have assumed that if I got back down here to close it, I would have put that away. So I think it's probably closed. Yep, it was closed. Whoops.
That was it. It's always nerve-wracking when the engine turns itself off, but luckily it's an easy fix this time. It doesn't always work that way. So we're headed over to Thomas Key today, which is right next to Pipe Key. And in order to get into the anchorage, it's supposed to be pretty shallow. And I wanted to hit it at high tide. But we're still getting used to this kind of, we don't have a schedule, but sometimes we do have a schedule because high tide is right now. And we are probably 2 or 3 miles from the anchorage still. So ideally you hit it on a mid-tide rising. So if you do hit the ground, pop up pretty quick. If we hit it now, we'll have to wait until the next high tide. Luckily we have a 4-foot draft, so I think we're gonna be fine either way, even if we are just a couple of minutes late. So wish us luck.
You just never know what you're gonna find. I can't even imagine the view from up there. And the best part is, I don't have to imagine it.
Drinking at the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow. Don't worry, that's a motto. So we keep moving along. Driving down a Cabo in a sunburned El Dorado. Don't worry, that's a motto. So we keep moving along. So we keep moving along.
It is super shallow in here, and there's all kinds of little channels and sandbars and coral reefs and whatnot, but supposedly we can just cut straight that way, so
Okay. afar, but I can't pass it up. I don't even know if it's active. I looked up a couple of things online and there's very little information. It looks old, it looks a little dilapidated. It looks like it's calling my name. In order to get over there, we have to navigate around a whole bunch of coral and sandbars. It's high tide, so we have as much water as we're gonna get. Perspective is a hard thing. I have to know how big it is. I'm 5'3".
What?
It just occurred to me that maybe I'm not supposed to be up here. There wasn't anything saying I wasn't, but I think it's probably time to go.
So that was the lighthouse that's right off of Little Pipe Key. And Little Pipe Key, if you're in the market for some real estate, is actually for sale right now for a cool $100 million. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon, but it's kind of cool to drive around. It's time to go to our real destination for the day, which is the Decca radio station. And I'm a huge nerd, so I'm really excited to see what it looks like. One more cove.
Map check! All right, so yes, there is a sign that says no trespassing, but we heard from the owner that you can walk around as long as you promise to wear shoes. So, I'm shoes up. Let's go look around. Oh, hey, lizard. The land of the lizard. Hey, fella.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it is. Hey, fella. Can't go through. We can go around.
Yeah.
I like the way that my negative sense of direction never fails. I climb in a window when there's a hole the size of a bulldozer on the other side.
I was really excited to come here because I was hoping to be able to see some of the transmitting equipment. For a quick history lesson, Decca is essentially the precursor to GPS. It's basically position triangulation via radio signals. And the way it works is you have a primary radio station, which in the Bahamas was right here. And then you have ideally 3 secondary radio stations that form a triangle around the primary one. And the difference between the phases of the signals when you receive them develop some sort of pattern, and you can look on a map and look at what the pattern looks like and figure out where you are. This technology was developed in World War II, It's so accurate that the Allied forces used it to clear the minefield on the way to Normandy, so they were able to get the Allied troops onto the beach themselves. So it's super accurate just with radio waves. It doesn't look like there's any equipment left because recently someone has bought the place and obviously is starting to fix it back up. But still, it's really cool for me just to be standing somewhere with that kind of history.
Learn something new every day out here. Had no idea had no idea what a deca was, what deca meant. Now I do.
So we've probably never taken the dinghy quite this far yet, and I think it's just because we've never had this much time in the middle of the day. So we've got about 2.5 or 3 miles to go to beat this rain home. Oh boy, here it comes.
Yeah. Thankfully, it only has not closed.
Does anyone else find it ironic that in 2 years of doing this, we've never filmed in the rain? We've been relegated to the weekends. The first time we want to film, whenever we have any day in the week, it rains.
It's just a little bit of long hair reality for you. Glamour.
This might be a thumbnail.
All right, well, I guess it's a good thing the rain drove us back in because we really should get this visa extension taken care of. When we got to the Bahamas, we applied for 180-day cruising visa in order to be here for 6 months, and we only got 3 months approved. You can file for an extension, but you can't file for an extension until 14 days before your visa expires. So we are officially within those 14 days, so it's time to get applying. And I have no idea how long it takes for them to go through the process of reviewing them, so I might as well give them as much time as possible. To apply, we have to provide biographical data pages of our passport and these stamped pages in our passport from when we arrived. If you've previously applied for an extension, which we haven't, the immigration landing cards, which we have, return ticket if traveling by air, which we don't because we're not, cruising permit if traveling by sea, which we have, and sponsorship information if applicable, which we don't need. So we basically get a PDF of all of this stuff and send it to immigration@bahamas.gov.bs, and they will look at it and approve or deny. So fingers crossed for approve, approve, approve. It does say nothing about the timeline. It says, once the application is submitted in a timely manner and the applicant meets all requirements, a favorable response is more likely to be granted. However, consideration will be given to those applicants submitted late once analyzed and the timeline as it relates to COVID-19 is addressed. Well, that makes it sound like they'll give priority to people that submit late. Love you, Bahamas. You're always on island time. So I'm just sitting here trying to get some work done, and the ceiling just fell on me because Charles is taking it upon himself to look into an issue. Want to explain why you're trying to kill me?
Yeah. So the deck light hasn't worked in a while, and the anchor light is going in and out. And I assumed the deck light was just burnt out, but I don't really ever use it. And I would have assumed the anchor light was burnt out, but it is actually going in and out. So I know it's not burnt out, so there's some sort of wiring issue, and I traced it from the circuit breaker, the distribution panel, to the mast terminal strip, which is right here, and I didn't know where it was until right now, where I crashed the ceiling on you. Looks like that.
This is what I almost died for?
Yep.
Being dramatic, guys. It's very lightweight sailing.
Okay, that makes sense. Horn is 4. The anchor light is 1. Steaming is 2. Alright, so I've taken it as far as I can without going up the mast, and it's just not happening right now because it's blowing like 25 knots. So wait for the wind to calm down and then carry on.
Well, auto replies don't work on island time because I already have a response. Thank you for contacting the Bahamas Department of Immigration. We have a renewed commitment to ensuring efficient, transparent service to all clients. I appreciate that. Be advised that your email will be responded to in order in which it was received. For emails reference to requests for electronic extension, kindly allow 7 business days. We have more than 7 days before our visa expires, so I guess we'll have a couple of days to figure out what to do if it's denied. Done for that.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't ever, ever, ever wanna calm down. No, no, no.
Sun came out just for us. Bucket list item. Sit on a sandbar, read a book, and don't worry about a thing.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't ever, ever, ever wanna calm down. No, no, no.
So it's been a really interesting couple of days trying to get used to the new normal. I've had a job pretty much every day since I graduated college, but it's been really, really interesting getting used to that. But for now, we've got to get back to the boat before sundown so we can light it back up. Can't turn on the anchor light.